I thought I would just pop in here and share a message with you that was coming through on divine feminine magnetism and what actually happens after you become a living, walking, talking magnet. Because this is what happens as you embody your divine feminine essence. When you get to a level of embodying truth and you see through, you have pristine clarity and you see through the illusion of separation, meaning you're no longer identified as a separate self. You know you are the pristine conscious awareness, the immovable stillness that is always here, always now, the timeless, ageless presence that is you. Call it God, call it consciousness, call it all that is, call it the universe, whatever words you want to put on it. You've always been this. You've just been looking through dirty glasses, dirty lenses. You've always been this. And as this is recognized, as this is seen, you become effortlessly magnetic. Your aura, your frequency that you're emitting, this is your new earth um, leadership. This is how you lead. You lead through the embodiment, being the living transmission of this pure frequency. When you are fully embodied in your divine feminine magnetism, you will not seek outside of yourself and you will not long for something to save you, something to fix you, something to heal you, someone to love you. You will be love itself. You will be whole yourself. You will be already healed, whole, and complete within. You won't be seeking it. You will be abiding in this peace and ease and silent ecstasy, I like to call it, that only is here and now. And paradoxically, that's when your magnetism amplifies for everything that is a frequency match for that. You become a beacon. You become a living, walking, talking catalyst itself, just through your being, just through you doing nothing, nothing particular. You just be going to the grocery store and people will be activated by your presence. People will feel your energy, especially if they're sensitive to feeling energy. They will just pick up on it. And it's not you they're picking up on, it is the light within you that is luminous, that is shining so brightly, shining for lack of a better word. I think you know what I mean. It is a frequency thing. In New Earth, it is the language is frequency, and coherence is how everything is magnetized in, and it's effortless. Will actions arise? Sacred actions will arise, but they won't arise in the mind. They will arise. You will receive the action. Just like you will just like you receive downloads, you receive the insight, the aha moment, and it will ping you and it'll feel like fun and joy, and you will be curious to follow it, and you will be uh, courageous enough to take that step into the unknown and follow your heart that's guiding you through this, which is your compass that speaks to you through joy and fun and feeling. And you follow it. And it leads to something else that then you take action on. And then it leads to something else. And sometimes the action is no action. Sometimes the action is just to hang out in your feminine essence of ease and flow and receptivity. I just shared on a Rise Sister Rise call earlier today. If I had to put a percentage to it, it's like 99% of the game is you being in your feminine receptive energy now. You've already done the distorted masculine thing. You've already done that. Then you played that out. That's the old paradigm. 99% of the creation process, creation's already finished. You don't have to go out there and try to figure anything out. 99% of this is you being in your feminine receptive energy, feminine ease. I like to call this divine leisure, not laziness, not apathy. You're not checked out. You're not avoiding life. You're in divine leisure. You're in your feminine ease. And you take action when you are moved. When you're moved, you move. And sometimes that can look like a little action. Sometimes it can be a bunch of action that you just get lost in for hours. Seems like a minute went by and you just got all the stuff done. And then you may move back into this flow of feminine ease where you don't create for a while. You don't take action on anything. You rest in your beingness. You rest in your feminine receptiveness. You rest in feminine ease. You rest in divine leisure. You open to receive. And then when you're moved, you move again. It's very simple. You're just not forcing it anymore. There's no egoic personal will, motivation, or drive forcing anything anymore. And that will burn you out because none of that will work anymore for you. That is the performance identity that is um, dissolving. This isn't about you figuring anything out. That's all mental realm. This is about heart centered creation now. And heart centered creation is led through following your joy, allowing your heart to guide you, being in your feminine receptive energy. It's 99% of it, and the 1% is going to be whatever divinely guided actions you're guided to take that feel good, that light you up, that feel like the next aligned thing, that spark your curiosity. It's just divine inspiration, and you follow it. And this can be very frustrating to the egoic mind for a while, because the egoic mind is like, but I need to be doing this, blah, blah, blah. The egoic mind will fight you on this for quite a while, especially if you have been conditioned to achieve all of your success through performance, hustling, and striving. Because there is no striving here in 5D. There is no striving here in feminine embodied leadership. There is no forcing, there is no performance, there is no proving, there is none of that. There is resting and being in your feminine ease, flow, receptivity, and receiving what wants to create through you, and then action, the doing, which is a much smaller percentage of the pie of this creation process, will stem from your beingness. So I know I'm kind of all over the place with this transmission, but I hope whoever was meant to hear it, hope it landed, it resonated. It was originally about divine feminine magnetism, and it's all connected because it kind of morphed into like the creation process and things like that, but it's all connected. It's you being fully embodied in your divine feminine essence. Infinite intelligence is already on it. You are that. Okay. You are infinite intelligence right here, right now. You're not this human vessel that you think you are. You're not this small little human trying to figure it out and make its way in the world and everything's happening to you. That is separation consciousness. It is reversed. It is reversed. The human exists within you. Everything exists within you. There is nothing outside of you. You are all of this. You are the boundless, eternal, timeless presence, and everything exists within you. And when you rest in the I am, and you rest in the as the source, everything else that comes from that's inspired guidance or action will be your most highly aligned, divinely guided inspiration to act on. So this isn't a lack of action. Masculine, sacred action is required. We were talking about this in Rise Sister Rise, but it's not going to come from the mental realm and you trying to figure shit out all the time. Or it's not going to come from, it's not going to come from what happens if you don't take this action. What does it mean about you? What does it mean about your circumstance? If it's coming from fear, like, oh, you better do this, or if you don't do this, then XYZ is going to happen, or like all of that is fear based consciousness. Action coming from that will only carry the frequency that it was created in. So that's what wanted to come through. I hope it resonated with whoever it was meant to resonate with. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them in the comment section if you're listening to this on YouTube. Let me know if it resonated. If you want support on this journey, you have Embodied the Empress, which is my membership. That is coming home to the truth of who you are and fully anchoring in your divine sovereignty. It is the foundation for everything that comes after. Like everything rests on your embodiment. Nothing can happen without your embodiment. Nothing. Nothing. Unless you are embodying your divine sovereignty and your divine truth. And again, it's not your divine truth. as a person. It's not your personhood's divine truth. We're not discounting humanity, but that is not your person's um, truth. You are embodying divine truth, if that makes sense. That is the foundation. Okay. Only then can you serve at a higher level. So if you're called to leadership, that's where Rise Sister Rise comes in. When you know you're being called, it's not a personal egoic thing where you're just trying to create a business to make some money or something like that. You're being called on a soul level to share your gifts and your magic with the world. And you know you're here to lead New Earth. You've known this your whole life. You resonate as a star seed, a light leader, a divine feminine, or a chosen one, whatever label you want to put on it. And you are shifting from 4D into 5D. You're somewhere in the sacred in between where shit doesn't make sense anymore. You cannot grasp on to the old identity, but you don't quite know where you're going yet because you're in the sacred void. And I get it because I've been there and I know what it feels like to come out of that and start to really amplify and activate the magnetism that already is innately your highest frequency that's always been there, but it's just been getting bogged down by all of this illusion and falsehoods and untruth. And that's what Rise Sister Rise is for. And then when you're ready to play at the highest goddess standard, because you are the VIP and the star of your own show, and you know you're meant to be seen and heard, and you know you're meant to play at the highest level, then the Goddess Standard or Iconic Legacy is available. And those are VIP luxe immersions that are hosted in person. You've already reached a level of mastery. You know that you're here to live the highest sacred embodiment. You know that the sacred wealth codes within you are being activated and you're here to play at the highest level. And you want to immerse yourself in sacred luxury and play at the highest level and get the highest proximity to me in person. That's what Iconic Legacy and the Goddess Standard is for. And it's for a select few. It's not for everyone. You can discern if that's for you or not. Your soul will already know. And you can DM me questions on Instagram at Spiritual CEO. So I hope this finds you well. If you have any questions whatsoever, let me know. And until next time, namaste.